patreon.com/shadesandtrades if you want to join the private Discord for trade alerts. Cool, thanks man. I made over 50%. I'm really excited. Advice on when to buy and sell makes the difference of thousands of dollars. So again, patreon.com/shadesandtrades for trade alerts. The SpaceX IPO, spcx. It is coming soon to theaters near you. This is your host, Shades. Hit that like and subscribe button for me. And of course, join the Discord, patreon.com/shadesandtrades. Let's get this out of the way now. Let's jump straight into the information that I want to provide here. Okay, so you have to make a choice here, and the choice is, do you trade on data or do you trade based on hype? And I'm going to show you right now how to navigate the FOMO, the volatility, and the mechanics of this kind of market. So let's continue here. We know that there's a lot of hype, right? A lot of hype for Pokemon cards. You know what happens to Pokemon cards when there's a lot of hype? Good luck buying those cards. They're going to be like 2 to 3x. You're going to have to pay a 2 to 3x premium. And then sometimes you buy and the cost of that pack, booster box, what have you, drops back down to whatever the regular price was. So what I'm saying is, this isn't unique to the markets. This is something that happens even with Pokemon booster boxes, what have you, even PlayStation 5. You guys remember PlayStation 5? What happened when the new PlayStation 5 came out? If you wanted to get one, you had to buy from a scalper on eBay for like $1,000, $1,200. But why would anyone spend that much money? Why not just be patient and wait for the next round of PlayStation 5s to ship and then buy it at MSRP, right? Why not just wait? Why not be patient? Why buy from a scalper? Because people want the bragging rights, right? They want to brag. They want to say, I bought this and I have it. And they get that sweet dopamine hit from buying the PlayStation 5. Even if it's buying it from a scalper for $1,200, it feels good. I have this thing. I'm one of the first. I'm so special. Me. So you can see the upcoming SpaceX IPO represents unprecedented market hype. Months of retail anticipation after are creating a massive influx of emotional capital. Fat no. Am I going to buy? Is Shades going to buy SpaceX IPO at launch? That is a fat no. If you've been following this channel long enough, you know I'm going to wait for prices to get cheap, right? You don't want to buy Pokemon cards when they're expensive. You want to buy them when they come down low, when they dip. You don't want to buy at the peak of the hype when you have to pay 2 to 3x to own that booster box. You want to wait for the hype to die down, then the price comes down, and then you buy. Right, and then you make the money on the way back up through the years holding those sweet sealed products, assuming it's a winner. The psychology of a bad trade, media hype and anticipation, months of build-up, the dopamine hit, the to-the-moon expectations, as I like to call it, because that's what it is. We love our dopamine hits, right? We want to have it right now. I want the dopamine right now. I have this awesome booster box. I'm going to open it. Woo! Look at this sweet sealed product that I'm never going to open because I want to sell it on the markets for a premium. Woo! Right? That sweet dopamine hit. I have the first PlayStation 6. Woo! One of the first ones. Woo! Buying the open, irrational exuberance. Emotional trading relies exactly on what I've been talking about. It relies on dopamine. You know, your brain is pretty dumb. It just wants to feel good. You know, people have died feeling good, right? They get addicted to heroin, alcohol, what have you, and then they die. You know, they want to live a life where they feel good all the time. It comes with a price, unfortunately. And when you trade relying on dopamine and not data, you might get caught holding a big bag, getting crushed by the volatility, and of course, people dumping on your head, because it's a game of getting in and getting the hell out, and you don't want to be the last person out because you're left holding the big bag. So CBRS, that was a new IPO that came out recently. Everyone was hyping it up. The next NVIDIA, blah blah blah. And what ended up happening is it got a brief spike, as one would expect. And like I said, you better be the first one in, last one. Don't want to be the last one out. Get in as quickly as possible and get out. But don't expect to hold it for days, because you end up holding the big bag. Right? Brief FOMO rally, and then bam, the dump, overnight gapping, and continued sell-off. And that's exactly what's been happening with CBRS when it IPO'd on the first day that it came out. And then I think it continued to go down for another day or two. So you don't want to buy when it comes out. You want to wait for the prices to collapse. And then you buy that sweet, sweet dip. The anatomy of a bag holder. I was about to say a bear holder. No, the anatomy of a bag holder. Right? When a hype stock opens, early retail capital drives a brief rally. Institutional volatility then takes over, forcing the asset into a steep decline. If you hold, you have to be okay with holding a big bag when it decides to gap down overnight. And you can see those sweet candles. You know, everyone wants this. This is what everyone wants. Nice big green candle to the moon. Woo! And then, you know, someone's going to get destroyed, right? Someone's going to get caught holding the bag. The illusion of a guaranteed win. You only hear about the winners. No one brags about buying the CBRS open and riding it all the way down. You're not going to hear about the losers, right? You only hear about the one winner. You never hear about the losers. The thousands of losers are silent. The winner, highly amplified, drives social media narratives, right? Everyone hears about the winner. No one hears about the thousands of losers because no loser is going to brag about being a loser. Like, you only hear from the winners, not the losers. The thousands of them, they're going to hold a gigantic bag. I mean, even people buy Pokemon cards and they hold a big, I guess, Pokemon bag too. I guess that's what it's called, Poke bag, I guess. Contrasting approaches. Retail FOMO. Buying the open. What's the driver? Why do you want to buy the SpaceX IPO? Why can't you just wait until the hype dies down, right? Why do you have to buy that booster box at $240 when you can just wait for it to collapse down to 60, 80, 300? I don't know. You get the point. Not 300 because that would mean it went up and you would have made money buying it and flipping it. But you get the point. What is the driver? Ask yourself, why are you buying the SpaceX IPO? Why? Why do you have to have it right now, right at the open? Why do you got to have that PlayStation 6 at high premiums buying it from a scalper if you couldn't get one at pre-order? If you weren't lucky enough to get one at pre-order, right? Why do you have to pay so much? Why can't you just be patient and wait for the next shipment? That's a question you have to ask yourself. Why? Because that seems pretty stupid, right? Like it's buy low, not buy high. Very interesting, right? Buy low, sell high, not buy high and hope it goes higher. Driver, dopamine, and fear of missing out, making millions overnight. That's the expectation, right? People are afraid of missing out. And they want that sweet gambler's high. So the expectation is that they're going to make millions of dollars overnight. They're going to wake up and, oh my God, SpaceX IPO went to the moon. Woo! And the end result is a lot of people end up holding a bag. I'm sure there are going to be some winners, right? But when everyone's rushing for the exits to run with the profits, someone's going to be left holding a gigantic bag. Probably the Koreans. But anyways, systematic trading, which is what we do on this channel. Waiting for technical support, data, and what is the driver? Why are we waiting for a technical support? We're waiting to see where buyers are going to show up, where buyers love it. Where do they want to hold the line in the sand for SpaceX IPO after the initial dump? Because it's not going to go straight up, right? It's not. We know everything comes down at some point. I mean, we had a crash in October that lasted until April. Unless you're new to the markets, unless you literally just joined the markets in May, we crashed from October to April. And you can ask anyone who was a part of it, it was awful. Because everything just kept going sideways and then lower and lower. So we wait for the data, we wait for that line of support, and we practice good risk management by buying low, right? Because we're not going to buy high hoping it goes high. We're going to buy low. We set our stop loss under the low, and if that's the low, then we're going to make money when it goes up, right? It's that simple, right? Buy low, sell high, not buy high hoping it goes higher, and if it doesn't work out, I'm okay with my strategy is I buy high, and if it doesn't work out, I hold the bag all the way down. Woo! I'm so smart, apparently. Buying at a discount, that's the thing. Buying low is just another way of saying buying at a discount. And instead of holding a bag, if you get stopped out, you take the small loss and you get to play again instead of having all that money tied up in one stock hoping it comes back up for you. And even if it does come back up for you, you might have to wait months, sometimes weeks, sometimes years. It depends on the stock. And that's a lot of money tied up for a long time when you could have just taken the small loss, been disciplined, and then you would have had that money to go somewhere else with it. Something else is going to get hype, right? Quantum stocks have been exploding. If you've been following this channel, I've been telling you to buy quantum stocks when they were crashing, because nobody cares about quantum until the hype comes around. You want to buy them when there's no hype, and then sell it when there's hype to the idiots who chase high, hoping it goes higher. That is the name of the game, ladies and gentlemen. How can you watch Wolf of Wall Street and think, I'm going to buy high, hoping it goes higher? I don't know. Algorithmic consensus. As you can see here, buying into the initial IPO volatility is mathematically unfavorable compared to waiting for settlement. Wait to buy shares, let the price action calm down. Let it find support first, right? I remember when Tesla, for those of you who follow Tesla, because if you're watching this video, you probably like Tesla. If you've ever watched Tesla's chart, kept an eye on it like I do, and I don't know if you recall, but not too long ago, it was at $100. It was at $100, and people were talking about, oh, it's going to go to zero, it's over, it's the end of the world, it's going to go under 100, and it's going to go to zero, it's over. And then it ran from 100 to almost 500, right? Isn't that crazy? Over 2x, over 3x. If you had bought when it was cheap at $100, you would have made a lot of money on that surge to 400 plus. Right? Isn't that silly? People are scared and doom and gloom when it's cheap, when it's discounted. Like, people hate discounts. What? That doesn't make sense. That people have died getting trampled over discounts. And in the markets, people don't trample over each other. They're like, oh my God, I'm not touching that. It just keeps going down. Oh no, so cheap. It's probably going to get cheaper, so I don't want it. Like, wait, what? So yeah, the IPO life cycle, the danger zone, high volatility, emotional capital, rapid depreciation, followed by a huge dump, and then you buy at the technical support, wherever that may be. We don't know where that's going to be. We have to wait for the data to reveal that. That's why you look at charts, because charts are just data. Price consolidation, technical support, established discount entry. That is what we're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. Wait for the floor. Avoid early price action nonsense. Capital is deployed only when the asset finds a verifiable area of support. Classic huge dump here, and then it finds some support, consolidates, and then it just kind of sits there until we make a move on the markets, either higher or lower. That's why you set a stop at the low. If it goes lower, fuck yeah, I'll get to buy cheaper. I'll just wait for it to come down. I'm not going to hold the bag all the way down like an idiot. That's what idiots do. Very terrible strategy. The hold the bag strategy if it doesn't work out. Like, what the hell? Just like historical entries into Tesla, waiting for a stock to settle down and find buyers allows for entry when it is genuinely discounted, not at volatile highs, right? I don't know why people like buying Tesla at 400 plus when you can just wait for it to come down cheap, and then people hate buying it at 100. Like, wait, what? If it's at 100, it's cheap. It's $300 discounted, and you're like, oh, not touching that. That doesn't make sense. That's stupid. The smarter play is to capture sector momentum without taking on direct IPO risk, which is why you're seeing a lot of other space-based stocks running, right? RDW and the many others out there, or Rocket Lab as well. They've been pumping because of the hype and anticipation of the space IPO. It would be technically safer to go with something that's not going to be as volatile, right? Because the SpaceX IPO, I'm sure it's going to be volatile, and I'm sure there are people who are going to make money, but there's also going to be, like I said, thousands of losers. You're not going to hear from the losers. They're not going to brag to their friends, hey, look at me, I bought the SpaceX IPO and I'm holding a bag, woo, right? You're only going to hear about the people who loaded up and dumped it on somebody and made a lot of money, and that's it. Maybe you won't even hear from them because they're like, I'm not going to tell them the secret. But anyways, identify, buy, and hold alternative space-related stocks that will experience secondary rallies due to SpaceX media hype, bypassing the primary volatility entirely. The systematic mindset. Risk is managed. Let it dance. If it breaks below, I cut it clean. Trade like a machine. What does this mean? It means you buy low, you set that stop loss under the low. If it's truly the low, if it's truly the bottom, then it shouldn't stop you out. And then it goes up and rallies and you make your money. Rinse and repeat. Now, I buy high and I hope it works out. And if it doesn't, I hold the bag, right? Very systematic. Very computer-like. Very machine-like, right? Trade like a machine. Right now, if you're going to buy that SpaceX IPO, you're going for that gambler's high. And some of you are going to get your sweet dopamine hit. I'm sure some of you are going to buy. It's going to go up and you're going to make your money. You're going to be like, oh, you're just going to feel great. You're going to be so happy. You are. You know you are. You're going to feel great. But if you're a loser, you're not going to feel so great. You're going to be like, oh... You're going to be regretting it, like, oh, I shouldn't have bought it. I shouldn't have gotten caught up in the hype. Shades told me not to buy, and he was right. God damn it. And some of you are going to say, Shades, you were wrong, man. You should have bought the IPO. So it's kind of funny, right? You're going to hear from one side saying they regret buying it because they're holding the bag, and the other side is going to be like, actually, I made a lot of money. So that's just how it is. There's going to be winners and losers. And as always, patience is a position. The market rewards discipline, patience, not desperation, and trying to get rich quick. Wait for the floor, execute the playbook. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I always tell people to be patient, be disciplined, and you will make money. It's just people want everything to go up right now. I buy right now, and tomorrow I'm rich. That's what people really want. And they want the dopamine hit. They want the bragging rights. They want all they want. People buy Pokemon cards because they hope to get that sweet card that they can sell for like $1,000. Woo! Look, I pulled that card that I can sell for $1,000, and I'm gonna brag about it and show everyone. Look, it's getting graded or whatever. Like, woo! That's what people. They just want the dopamine hit and the bragging rights. Isn't that stupid? People are willing to take a lot of risk and pay a lot more for a PlayStation just to be able to brag. Isn't that dumb? Isn't that just stupid? That's just dumb. It's buy low, sell high, not buy a PlayStation 6 high and then woo. Like, come on, man. That's not smart. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.
And I take my chance.